Om Samaji. Just thought to give an update on this A-frame project. I tried to put a proper design to see how we could really simplify it. So what I did is I tried to go to Brico Depot and see, what is the least amount of work that we can do to put this thing together. So what I tried to do was to show each thing and how we actually have to cut it to try to make it so that we have as few cuts as possible. So how I put the design is in steps and showing, so the starting is the 6 concrete pads there up in the top of the screen, and then below is the first set of wood that you need to cut. You can see like there's about, 10 or 15 pieces of wood that need to be cut, just the ends off. But all of that is used, actually. This was the other thing, tried to minimize the waste. So there's just these 2 little bits of red wood that are not used. And then in each step, it shows, so now that wood is assembled into this deck frame structure. And it shows then the next, which is actually putting the decking on top. So again, trying to simplify it, that it's just you cut the decking in half. The most things you have to cut is 1 piece of wood twice and 1 little offcut there in red, so basically no waste. Some pieces of OSB, which is like particle board, and we use them in their entirety. So you can see the next step is there. 2 pieces of OSB are down and the decking is on. This is the only thing that will have a bit of complexity in just figuring out the angles of the A-frame itself. But it's nice. Nick was here today. I spoke to him and he actually said, with the exception of that, getting the A-frame angles right, most of this, and especially the decking project, he said, you could train anybody with a bit of sense on doing that, because it's really basic, 1 cut in half, or very simple cuts. And in many cases, trying to use the full lengths of wood so you don't even have to cut anything. So this A-frame, it's not a lot of cost. It's just the most probably complex aspect of the project is getting all that geometry right. So then that goes on, and again, all of the cladding, the idea is to just use straight boards of OSB that you don't have to cut at all. So you just buy them and then you put them on, just like that. So actually the whole project is like that, because just like the European paper sizes A4, A5, when you slap 2 pieces together, it's the same as the next size, or sorry, I should say the length. So you can see here, like 2 side by side is the same as the length of 1. So they work out very well. You can see the boards, they all just sit in there quite nicely. We won't have to cut, we just go screw them on and away you go. Nick was also mentioning that the major challenge for this project is going to be making sure that it's watertight. So one of the big things there is that we'll have to put on some vapor barrier. So that's just that there. It's just some plastic sheeting, a little expensive as far as the cost, but it needs to be done. Otherwise, it will just rot. Water will get trapped and like this. Next project or next part is all of the paneling. So again, trying to use as few cuts as possible. You see most of the sheets then we keep as they are. A few sheets we have to cut, a couple cuts in the sheets, and that's all of the exterior cladding, which goes on like that. And again, I think relatively straightforward to attach it on. What's not here is all of the finishing details. There's finishing details on the top so that water doesn't get in. And the other thing is, this shows as a flat piece of wood, but what I would look into is there's this man that works for Arb & Co., the company that does our tree cutting, and he has a little sawmill, and he cuts really beautiful lats, really beautiful planks of wood, and affordable. So I think we could probably get it to him. And then actually the facade, the front, and let's say the back of the building, I won't be able to get there now, but the back of the building would be like, I guess, kind of like the decking, just lats of wood. I mean, obviously no space, but wood lats on the front and back. A door we would either have to build, either have to buy. That has to be seen. And then the other nice thing is it was Francesca. She was here, Shamala, and she was able to give a little input on what she thought would be nice for colors. Very interesting because she proposed exactly what the example that I found online had done, the paint colors that had been used. And she said, oh, it would be nice and off-white with a green. So the off-white to give a sense of space and light, and the green would be all of the structural details. So you can imagine that all of the big planks of wood would be this off-white, and the A-frame inside, so framed, this sort of frames of green, nice green. So she's going to come on Tuesday with some options for a color palette that she would propose. And I asked her also if she could to propose some accent colors for the bedding, for example. So, white walls, off-white walls, green wood frame details, and then some kind of bedding accent, what we can do all of the additional things in. The door, this side panel, I found a way to open it very easily. It's with a rope. You just wrap a rope around two hooks. The rope is tied, so there's no possibility that it ever slips. And every time you wrap the rope around the hooks, it goes up a third. And when you've wrapped it around 3 times, then the side door is at full height. It can't slip, and you can't put a piece of wood wrong. You can't forget to clip it. It just can't fall. So if you can wrap it around, it's up. If you don't wrap it around, it's not up, and there's really no risk there. We still have to work out the details of the finishing, the interior, how to build the bed and the shelves, but relatively small cost and relatively later on. It's something that could be figured out in the project. Oh, and one last detail that would be very nice that I saw is that we would put a solar panel on the huts. You put a little 100-watt solar panel with a small motorcycle battery, and this is enough for people to charge their phones, laptops, and also power some lights, which means we don't have to wire into the ashram all of this difficulty and expense. And I think also it really adds some charm to the buildings that they are solar powered, no? That there's completely sort of off-grid little worlds in themselves. So yeah, Shamala will get back on Tuesday with the colors. I will work a little bit on the details here, the cladding, the finishing details, and the other thing that I have to work on is just some of this this frame geometry, how to really fix this all together in a solid way. But Nick, he was saying it's a simple screw and glue process. So, he said nothing complicated there, which, it's what we've seen, but it was nice to hear it from someone who has the experience. I showed him a bit the drawings, and he said, yeah, he said we would just slap these up in a day, in the movie industry. So everyone in the see it is very enthusiastic. They like the idea. They think it's very charming and will fit very nicely in the ashrams. So I started on the budget, and I can now, once I really put these, I can see all the pieces now. So I can go through and sort of price out what all of those individual pieces are and get a budget. But again, I think it's between 1,000 and 2,000 euros, and hopefully less, but let's see. So that's that. And the training is going very well. Students are very happy. One is incredibly ill. Maybe Swami Jyotir told you. She has some vomiting syndrome. So since 11 o'clock in the morning, she's been bile and this kind of thing. But it's a chronic thing she's had since, I guess, years. But the students are very happy and everyone very positive, like this. And yeah, so Om Namah Shivaya.